Call the meeting of the Haywood County Board of Education, the February meeting, to order at this time. I'd like to call on Mr. Jimmy Rogers to lead us in our invocation, immediately followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Everyone please rise.
Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, as we gather here tonight, we know there's so many distinguished awards to give to children with all their accomplishments, to teachers with their accomplishments, to staff. Lord, we thank you for these dedication and all the dedication these people serve to our students in this county, in this school system. Lord, we pray that you give this board the wisdom to make the right decisions that help affect the lives of these children every day. Lord, we pray that you give us guidance, you give our teachers guidance, you give our students guidance, you give our families guidance, and that we can offer the best education possible for all children of this county. Lord, we pray that you guide and direct us in all that we do, and we give you the praise and the glory for it all. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Under announcements, our next board meeting will be here at the Education Center at 7 o'clock on March the 9th. And also would like to urge anyone that would like to participate. The Mardi Gras Ball is a great fundraising event by the Schools Foundation, and we have tremendous support there from local businesses and community leaders. And that's on Saturday, March the 7th at 6:30 up at Laurel Ridge Country Club. Miss Jenny Wood, I'm sure, or any of the Haywood County Schools Board Foundation board members could be happy to sell you a ticket to that event. Now, board members, we have an opportunity to support our school checkbook fundraiser, and Miss Jenny, we'll recognize you.
Chairman Francis, members of the board, Dr. Garrett and Dr. Nolte. Tonight we're going to kick off our 9th annual School Checks fundraiser. This has been a very successful event in fundraising for our schools. We've raised over $200,000 in total for our schools, and last year we sold over 2,800 books, so wow. It's been very successful. The books are $15, and we get to keep $10. $9 to each school, and $1 comes to the foundation for the prizes and things like that. The sale runs from February 12th through March 20th, and you can get books from any of the schools or the central office or the foundation. And tonight we have some students from Central Elementary who are going to kick off the sale. So just start waving your money and they'll bring you a book.
Thanks.
Got some over here too.
You didn't get change. Give me 20 to take off.
Anybody else? Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Under agenda adjustments, I have several things we need to talk about. Building and Grounds has a couple items that need to come before the board, and we'll add that between 21 and 22, so board members don't hesitate to remind me when we get down there. I seem to forget these things sometimes, but be sure and add that Building and Grounds between 21 and 22. Finance has one additional item that I need to bring forward on a contract that needs to be approved tonight. So we'll add that to the Finance Committee already on the agenda. And we have an agenda adjustment that we would like to make just as a courtesy. I want to move item number 17 back up to number 5. We're going to do it next, as well as the graduation dates. Now I will go ahead. Is there any objections to doing these agenda adjustments? There being none, we'll do that. Now I'd like to recognize Dr. Carol Douglas for the graduation dates and the other agenda item.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, board members. I believe you have before you, Leanna, they have that. Oh, okay. I would like your approval for our graduation dates for 2015. Haywood Early College will be Friday, May 8th at Haywood Community College at 7 p.m. Tuscola High School will be Tuesday, June 9th at the Ramsey Center at Western Carolina University at 7 p.m. Pisgah High School will be Wednesday, June 10th at the Ramsey Center at 7 p.m. And Central Haywood High School will be Friday, June 12th at Haywood Community College at 6 p.m. Any questions, conflicts? And those are tentative. You know, we still have snow to go, but even with snow, that's pretty much done.
Do we need approval for these dates? Okay, at this time, I'll entertain a motion that these proposed dates be
I'll make the motion to approve the proposed graduation dates.
Okay, we have a
Second.
motion, second by Ms. Milner. Any question or discussion on the motion? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. The second item I have is I would like to ask approval to remove the graduation project requirement from our graduation requirements, the graduation project requirement from our graduation requirements. Currently, I think this started 3 years ago, as part of our accountability model, we decided to implement the North Carolina graduation project. Since then, we have discovered that it doesn't really help us in any way other than it's a good program for our students, but it doesn't help us with our accountability. It counts neither for nor against us. And I've talked to teachers and principals, and they all feel that it's a bit of a distraction and not being implemented with total fidelity. And so at this point, until it becomes more, what's the word I'm looking for?
State required.
I'm sorry?
Required by the state.
Yeah. And we've done some research, and the schools that are in the top tier that have exceeded growth, most of them are not doing it. Over half of the high schools in the state are not doing it. So we feel at this time we would like to ask for your approval to not continue with that beginning this year.
Talking about July 2015, 16.
No, we're talking
This
this
year.
current
Okay.
year.
All right.
Mhm.
Mr. Chairman, at this time, I'd like to make a motion that we do remove the graduation requirement on the project.
We have a motion from Mr. Rogers. Do I hear a second?
Second.
So, Mr. Rogers. Any question or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Douglas. I did fail to mention that Mr. Henson had a prior engagement. He was here earlier this evening, but he did have to leave. And so just wanted you to be mindful. He was here earlier, but he had to go. So next on our agenda, we have Mr. Mark Shepard.
A long way around tonight. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, we'd gladly like to recognize our middle school outstanding athletes for the winter sports season. So first of all, we're going to have Canton Middle's wrestling coach and one of their best wrestlers to come around and be recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Shepard, and appreciate the school board and Dr. Garrett allowing us the opportunity to recognize these student athletes tonight. Somebody else has recognized him too. But we'd like to recognize Taryn Brown for he is for being an outstanding wrestler this year. He went 15-0 at Kent Middle School as heavyweight division and won the conference. He also went down this past weekend and came in third in the state. So he had a great year. This time I'd like to present this to Mr. Brown. Hello, brother. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tara, thank you.
And now we're going to ask Miss Bonnie Coleman, the athletic director for Waynesville Middle, to come around and recognize a wrestler for them and their girls basketball team.
Dr. Garrett and the board, we'd like to take a few moments tonight to recognize our 2014-2015 Lady Mountaineers. They were conference champions this year for our basketball team. Our coaches are extremely proud of them. These ladies had an exceptional season. They were 14-1. They were particularly resilient in their efforts this year. They were down by 10 points at halftime in the semifinals to Bethel and came back to win by 8. Moved on to the finals. We're down by 4 again at halftime, came back and won that victory as well. On and off the floor, they're exceptional athletes. They show excellent character in the classrooms. Their grades, their behavior is just what we want as role models at our school. And they have proved that through hard work and never giving up, one can accomplish great things. We are very proud of them. We also have a young man, I'm not sure if he made it in tonight, Patrick Coulter. He was also undefeated in the 145-pound range for our wrestling team this year. He was also undefeated and won his tournament for this year for the individuals tournament in wrestling. So we're very proud of him as well. Thank you very much.
Mr. Francis, you've got a whole thing. Go ahead and let her pass out the awards.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Pass out the awards. They all deserve being
All right.
recognized one by one.
Yep. Thank you. Yep. Morgan Plemons. Carter Gibson. Emily Tregan. Ani Smallwood. Haley Walker. Michaela Zeldick. Sierra Jackson. Olivia Rich. Ellie Smith. Shelby Glantz. Ashland Young Scavato. Sarah Rathbone. Rebecca Frazier. Catherine Glantz. and Monica Green. Skylar Sutton. And they are coached by Cam Bass and Carla Phillips. Thank you.
They don't get a picture? Picture? Where's Todd at?
Let me get your picture. All right, guys.
Two glass girls by each other.
On three. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, guys.
Go girls.
Good job, girls.
Stand still. Don't move. Holly's getting a picture.
Smile, Glance girls. Shelby, smile at your mom.
Thank you. Ready, girl?
Y'all let the coach out.
Yeah.
Let's leave it. Squad.
There you go. I didn't see it. Thank you.
I don't know if I can handle it. Me too.
I play stuff. Even my daughter plays softball. Lisa coached twice. So Lisa and Bronson.
They don't never miss.
No,
No, it's going to be a travel situation. You're What's our plan? Drew.
We were all waiting on Mark to continue on. We was wanting some more sports heroes. But next on the agenda is Miss Jenny Wood for some student art recognitions.
Chairman Francis, members of the board, Dr. Garrett and Dr. Nolte, I am so pleased tonight to recognize Karen Francoeur, who is a second grader at Clyde Elementary. Okay. As a part of Every Child's Chance, Every Community's Future campaign, the North Carolina Association of School Administrators hosted a student contest to honor the 175th anniversary of our state's first public school. They received numerous entries in the forms of essays, artwork, and videos. Karen placed second in the NCASA poster contest for grades K-2 across North Carolina. Karen is the daughter of John and Carrie Francoeur. She loves to read, dance, sing, draw, and hang out with her family. And I've heard that she's the first to tell you that she was the first born in a set of triplets. So I guess that makes her the big sister, huh? Yes. We have a certificate that says Haywood County Board of Education Certificate of Recognition presented to Karen Francoeur for the NCASA K2 Poster Contest winner. Congratulations. And we also have a donation was made to the Haywood County Schools Foundation because of her recognition.
Next on our agenda, we have Miss Jenny Wood again.
I'm also happy to recognize tonight these awesome students and teachers. This is our band, and in January, Haywood County had seven students selected for the All-Region Jazz Band and 20 students selected for the All-District Band. The 7 band students chosen to represent Haywood County in the Western All-Region Jazz Band had to go through an extensive audition. 6 of the students were selected from Waynesville Middle, which is a band record for that school, and 1 from Bethel Middle. Over 60 Haywood County school students auditioned for the West All-District Band. A total of almost 700 students from 40 middle schools and 30 high schools auditioned. 20 students from Haywood County were selected based on the result of their audition. The auditions were held at Tuscola High School on January 22nd and 24th. We had more students audition and selected this year than in the past several years. And just as a side note, the districts for band and then sports are different. They're not divided into the same conference and districts. While sports conferences are based on location and school size, the band district is based on a much larger area, and school size is not a factor. The Western region for the jazz band is comprised of 3 districts, including the Western District. So I'm going to I want to recognize our band directors from Waynesville Middle School, Sandy Boone and Stephen Paris. From Canton Middle School, Chris Ulrey. From Bethel, Kevin Kimbrough. From Tuscola, Tim Wise and Greg Neblett. And from Pisgah, Adam Stewart. Do you guys have anything you want to add to what I said? Good. So now I'm going to recognize all these students. Let's see. I think these are from Waynesville Middle School. Ellie Harris. Okay. Jennifer McHenry. Congratulations. Robert Super. Congratulations. Lexi Cagle. Congratulations. Sarah Clark. Congratulations. Carter Huskinson. Molly Dorgan. Afton Bryan. Congratulations. Mateo Foglio. Congratulations. Matthew Wyant. Congratulations. Keenan Huskinson. Walker Wyatt. Chris Parsons. Virginia Fry. Aiden Sheehan. Landon Henley. Congratulations. And then I believe, let me look, make sure, Tuscola. Mackenzie Aldridge from Tuscola. Yep. Congratulations. Anthony Gattano from Tuscola. Not here. Okay. From Canton Middle School, Mia Ball. Congratulations. And from Pisgah, Thomas Long. Second box here. And then these are the all county or all region jazz. From Bethel Middle, David Rowland. Robert Super again. Congratulations. Mateo Foglio. Matthew Wyant. Oops. Walker Wyatt. Coleman Ammons. And Colby Cook. Congratulations, and we are so proud of all of you.
Tall in the back, shorter in the front.
He's going to the Grammys.
Oh, I know. One of these days we're going to sit there and take it. I saw that.
Yeah, we will.
Some of these.
All right, guys.
She's trying to get over there so she can get in the picture. You know, if you're back here, you're out of it.
They can't.
They can't see us, they can see her. That's what.
All right. It? One more.
They like the Dollar Tree.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Already.
Way to go, Karen. Now, Sherry. Don't be proud of them girls like that. You quit spoiling them other girls like that.
Board would now like to recognize Ms. Jill Barker.
And I'm gonna stand up for this. Where's she at?
I don't know why you're standing up. You want to come up here with me?
No. I just know what's getting ready.
Yes, you do. So Dr. Garrett, Dr. Nolte, Chairman Francis, and members of the board, it is an honor tonight to recognize Riverbend Elementary on receiving a North Carolina mini grant for being a finalist in the Distinguished School Competition. This grant, in the amount of $115,693, will provide additional Title I funding for their school. $115,000. Okay, I wasn't done yet. Hang on just a second. I'm going to say something. I'll let them all get in here. Y'all come on in. Oh, yes.
Y'all come in for a stand ovation.
Hey, how are you? Oh, good.
Hey, Debbie.
This award goes to a school with high expectations for children and themselves. They understand how children learn and provide a high-quality educational environment. This was not luck. This is the culmination of years of hard work and a staff committed to improving their craft. And I just want to say, I've told y'all when I was at Bethel, I was very jealous of River Bend. It was always a very healthy competition. And we did beat you guys 1 year. Okay, I'm in the Hall of Fame that 1 year. No. But I don't know how that happened. It was probably a mistake. But now that I've had an opportunity to get out and see your school, I'm just overwhelmed every day at what you do with kids. And it's all true. And I know what it took for you to get where you are. And you deserve this money. You earned every penny of it. And you know you did, each one of you. So I know that y'all have got great plans for it. And I'm so excited. And just congratulations and enjoy it. And again, celebrate. So thank you so much. I've got a certificate.
Haywood County Consolidated Schools Certificate of Congratulations presented to Riverbend Elementary School. The Haywood County School Board of Education acknowledges and extends congratulations for being named Title I Distinguished School Finalist, grant recipient of $115,693. Congratulations.
All right, guys. On three. 1, 2, 3. Let me take one more. Thank you, guys.
Ms. Chambers, I would like to personally say thank you. You're in my home district. I'm down there probably more than most board members because I've got 2 kids down there. I greatly appreciate what you do. You do a fine job. Just keep it up. Thank you.
She's my sister-in-law.
Don't tell nobody you're Rhonda's sister-in-law.
Now I'd like to recognize Dr. Ann Garrett for some special recognition.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I'd like to recognize 3 of our administrators tonight on their upcoming retirement. I would like for Bob Phillips, Doris Green, and Susan Savage to come forward, please. These 3 administrators have over 82 years of experience with the Haywood County Schools. I'd like to recognize Mr. Phillips first. Mr. Bob Phillips, who is a graduate of Tuscola, Haywood Community College, and Western Carolina University. He's worked at Stovall's 5 and 10 cent store, Welco, Swift Meat Company, Mark IV Daco, and has been with the Haywood County Schools for 10 years, 5 of those as finance officer. He enjoys woodworking, making rock, and spending time in his newly constructed shop. He's interested in old cars. He plans to travel and spend time in Florida after his retirement. Now, this is from Third Floor, a quote to him. Bob is the type of leader that allows for independent work and thought while providing necessary support when needed. He is a gracious and gentle person with a very strong faith and set of values. The ladies on Third Floor wish him fun, health, and happiness in the next chapter of his life. Our hope is that it exceeds his greatest expectation. Thank you, Bob, for being our finance officer and an employee of our school system. Okay, Doris Green. Dr. Green is a 3-time graduate of Western Carolina University and received her doctorate from the University of South Carolina at Columbia. She's been an educator for 40 years. Doris has been a superintendent, a staff development coordinator, testing coordinator, assistant principal, and has held various teaching positions. Doris was our very first principal at the Early College. This was a grant that we received from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. She has served in this role for 8 years. Dr. Green has made Haywood Early College one of the top performing schools in the state. She has worked diligently to improve both the academics and the lives of our children. The staff at Haywood Early College believe Doris is truly a great lady with a sincere desire to provide the best education possible for all of our students. Her dedication and drive are commendable. It is a pleasure to wish a happy retirement to Doris and thank her for her passion and love for children. Thank you, Doris. Susan Savage. Mrs. Savage is a graduate of Pisgah High School, Lees McRae Junior College, and Appalachian State University. She's been an educator for 32 years. Susan has been an elementary teacher for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grades, lead teacher, assistant principal at both the elementary and middle schools. She's been at Haywood for the last 5 years as principal. Susan has truly changed the dynamics of Haywood Elementary when she implemented Stephen Covey's The Leader in Me. And I quote, "Through these doors walk great leaders and scholars. Those are the first words Haywood Elementary students see when they enter the school. The program promotes leadership in students and supports them in becoming good citizens, focusing on their academics, and developing the skills needed to be successful in the 21st century. It is a pleasure to congratulate Susan on her retirement and to thank her for her passion for children and her true love for education." Thank you.
It's been a pleasure the last 10 years serving the children of the county, and any success that I've had, I've owed to my staff. I've had a great staff on the 3rd floor, and I appreciate each one of them.
Chairman Francis, board members, Dr. Garrett and Dr. Nolde, Haywood County School System has been an awesome place to finish my career. Thanks. I want to thank you for your trust in me, thank you for your leadership, and thank you for the privilege of serving as principal of Haywood Early College.
Chairman Francis, members of the board, Dr. Garrett, Dr. Nolte, it has been an honor and a pleasure to work for Haywood County Schools. I have met so many wonderful people, so many wonderful students and families. I have worked with great people at the many schools that I've served on both ends of the county. I have created long-lasting friendships that I will carry with me forever. I want to thank everyone for their support, and I continue from this day on to continue to watch Haywood County Schools. I know there's going to be great things that are going to happen after I leave, and I look forward to seeing what's ahead. Thank you.
Congratulations to all of our recipients tonight, and congratulations to those of you that have reached the milestone of retirement. Somebody asked me in my company a while back when I was going to retire, and I said, well, I'm 59 and I just re-upped my mortgage on my house for 30 more years, so I figured I'll be 89 whenever I get ready to. So they're stuck with me for a long time. I don't know whether they'll let me or not, but now I wasn't supposed to tell them that, was Bessie, we don't know how old we are, do we? Bessie and I graduated together, just in case you didn't know how old she was. Just saying. Next, we have a special treat. We've been looking forward to this each month. We have a spotlight on one of our schools, and this month we welcome Haywood Early College, Dr. Doris Green. Thank you.
We have just a short window into what it's like being at Haywood Early College. Our Teacher of the Year, Mr. Ryan Brumfield, and our yearbook staff put the little video together, and I think it pretty much speaks for itself. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the presentation from the Haywood Early College. Thank you very much. Next on our agenda, we have Dr. Bill Nolte.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Dr. Garrett, staff and guests, it's hard to believe that 10 years ago we were sitting with this guy named Dr. Germano at the college, and he was saying, we need to write this grant. And 8 years later, one of the highest performing schools in the region and state. So that's a true success story for our district. I have 2 items of information for you. That the first one is pretty good news. The second one is great news. This information we shared with you during your work session last Tuesday or Thursday. Time has passed and I've forgotten which night it was. But at your work session, thank you, Mr. Francis, for reminding me. The first is the release of the first ever letter grades for schools in the state of North Carolina. Each year, North Carolina releases a report card for each school, and those report cards are just chocked full of information, everything from the number of computers and the average number of students and highly qualified staff information. And this year, the state legislature decided that they would assign a letter grade. In complete disclosure, we think the process for assigning grades is somewhat flawed, and we'll talk about that more in the media and at other times. But we're, despite the fact that we think it's not put together very well, we still look real good. We look pretty good. Probably the easiest thing to read in the press release that we sent out last Thursday after the scores were released is the percentage of schools across the state that received A's, B's, C's, and so forth. There were a little over 5% of the schools in the state received an A. We had 12.5% of our schools receive an A. There were 24% of the schools in the state received a B. We had a little over 31% of our schools receive a B. About a little over 41% of the schools in the state received a C. 50% of our schools received a C. And then the state had almost 30% of the schools in the state that got D's or F, and we had none of those. So while that looks good, we like that, and we're very pleased with that. We think the way that it's assigned is still a little bit questionable. We'll be communicating with the state legislature about that. And so anyway, I'll be glad to entertain any questions. There has been a good bit of information in the media about this, and I think the media outlets, our local papers and radio and television have done a pretty good job of covering this. But I wanted to share that news during a board meeting so other people would have the opportunity to see that if they've missed it in some other place.
Anyone have any questions for Dr. Nolte on the grading system?
I have one comment, like you mentioned a minute ago, Dr. Nolte, this is changing in our state. I know there's a state bill right now that's going to be changing these percentages of emphasis as far as 80-20 and back down to for the school performances on their levels. It has been introduced to change that to the 40-60, and that's helpful.
Yes, Mr. Rogers. Right now, 80% of the grade is based upon someone passing a test, typically in reading or math. There are not a lot of tests that are actually used for the grade. That's one of our concerns. They're limiting it on a pretty small amount of the assessments that we do. About 80% of it is just based on the grade, and only 20% is based upon the school being able to move students from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. And in Haywood County Schools, we believe growth is paramount. We want to be able to move every student, the highest one and the lowest one, a year or more in a year. And, there are some schools that, find it pretty easy to get them to a mark and then stop. And we changed that mindset over the last 10 years, and we do think growth is important because we want every child to move regardless of the place he or she enters the school year. So we hope that legislation will be successful in placing more emphasis on growth. If you grow them, they will make the scores.
They will make the scores.
That's right. That's sort of one of our mantras.
Any other questions, comments? I believe you're on the agenda again.
The next piece of information, and again, we shared this with you during your work session, is great. We feel like, very frankly, in our office that we have created something with nothing. Most of the credit for the creation of this plan and implementation of this plan goes to Ron Moss, our elementary supervisor, and Jill Barker, our federal programs director. Mr. Moss is at a conference in Greensboro, so he's not with us tonight. We, as you all know, we've talked about before, we make it a point every year to look at our test data, and we go and visit other really high-performing schools and districts, and some come and see us. We don't go see everyone, but we do go see folks who perform very well, and we've shared a number of ideas with Polk County, one of the premier districts in the state. They perform very well given their level of resources. And we've helped them with things, and they've helped us with things too. In particular, the gains we made in the ACT, they gave us a lot of those ideas. So I'm just trying to give credit where credit is due. Mr. Moss, Mrs. Barker, and myself went to see some of our friends at Polk County back in October. And one of the things that they were very adamant about was they believe a lot of their academic success comes from the fact that they serve nearly all of their school children in a pre-K program. And they do that in very innovative ways. And one of the ways that they do that is they have opened up some private paid slots. And that made us really nervous, but we've spoken with a number of regional officials, and they tell us that's perfectly legal and appropriate. So we have calculated the revenues that we have available for next year in Title I and what we expect through NC Pre-K. And if we will take those revenues that are available, we can add 2 locations, not really spend any more Title I money than we're spending now, but because we're spreading them over from the 4 locations that we have today to 6 locations, we can increase the number of Title I students from 64 to 72. And then instead of putting 15 or 16 Title I students in each slot, we would have the money to put 12 in each location. We're still gaining 8 slots because we're spreading out the number of locations. We can put up to 4 private pay students in each slot. We're very excited about that. We've done a surveying of child care and other pre-K programs in the community. Dr. Garrett wanted us to make sure that we paid for the program and with private pay, and that their fees would cover their expenses, but that we were also very careful not to undercut any private businesses, churches, or other businesses. And we think we can do that at $550 a month. That is a little higher than most fees for 4-year-old programs. And so we're very, very excited about that. We're working on a list of most frequently asked questions and answers. We think that list will be available for the community probably in a couple weeks. And then we will begin registration at the end of March, somewhere between March 30th and April 1st. We think the registration will be available. The Title I students will qualify based upon need, just like they have always qualified. The private pay students will not need to qualify, but we will need to, just to be fair and equitable, we will need to place them through some lottery or random selection process so that it's fair to people. So we're very excited about that, and we will have additional details in the coming weeks, but that will provide additional pre-K school-like programming for a number of students, and we know that those services can sometimes be difficult to find in the community, and so hopefully we can fill that void and achieve some educational goals at the same time.
Any questions for Dr. Nolte on this? It's covered quite well at our work session, and we appreciate that.
And we will give a press release to the media
with the details
right after this meeting.
Okay.
We wanted you to have it announced at a board meeting first.
Any questions or comments for Dr. Nolte on this? Thank you very much, Dr.
Thank you very much. And again, I'd like to thank Mr. Moss and Mrs. Barker because they've done a great deal of that work.
Very good. Thank you. Ms. Moody, did anyone sign up to speak to the board in open session this evening? Okay, thank you. On the minutes, it's been brought to my attention there was one correction needed to be made on the January 12th, 2015 minutes. We needed to add Jimmy Rogers in attendance at the top. I think he's included in some of the other things, but he wasn't included in that. I do recall you being here, I believe. But anyway, as board members, you had an opportunity to take a look at the January 12th, 2015 minutes with the correction as I just noted. I would entertain a motion that be approved at this time.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Rogers made the motion. Do I hear a second? Second, Mr. Francis. Any question or discussion on the motion? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Next on our agenda, we have Miss Jenny Wood again. She's popular tonight.
For your approval, you have the 2015-16 Haywood Early College School Calendar.
I'll make a motion we approve.
Mr. Kirkpatrick made the motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Milner. Any questions or discussion about the calendar or about the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Ms. Wood. Next on our agenda, we have Mr. Haney with a proposal.
Board, in December, the State Board of Education approved a new policy for alternative schools, and it's an accountability policy that's in effect now. They will renew it every August after this, but we have to send this proposal up. And I'll give you a copy of this in option A, B, C, and D. Option A is alternative schools may participate in the school performance grades. That's the A, B, C, D, and F. That's a 100-point scale. Y'all are very familiar with that. Option B is alternative schools may return data to their home schools. We consider ourselves a school. That's the reason we're very successful. So we do not want to send our data back to a home school because home school is us. And that's the way our kids see us. That's the reason we have a better than 80% graduation rate, because we are the school. Option C is alternative schools may participate in the alternative school programs model, or option D. And we're opting for option D. And if you'll turn the page, on the second page, it's got a real good overview of option C. The only difference we're really looking at between option C and D is removing the ACT. ACT is a college-ready measure. Our kids cannot go to college. They cannot go directly to college. We do not have the foreign language. We do not have the GPAs. We have 20 kids out of 22 that are graduating right now, well, in June, we hope, that have already filled out applications to go to a community college. Good for us. We hope to have 22 of 22. The ACT really does us no good to use that as a measure because it's measure college readiness. Now, we fluctuate, and if you'll go to the last page, if you'll look option D is what we're looking at. We want a 20% student persistence. A lot of our students come to us because of attendance, a very large amount of them. If we can keep them in school, we've really done well. If we can keep them, we can get them to graduation. 20% school achievement, and if you'll look, we've got 5 measures, EOC assessment in biology, math, and English too. That's what the state requires. ACT work keys, that's your CTE kind of measure on your how you can process things, how you can find items, some math stuff. It's a good, I'd hate to take that test. That's a tough test. 4-year graduation rate, 5-year graduation rate, and our math course rigor. You have to complete up to Common Core Math 3 to do the math core rigor, and that's a tough thing for our kids. A lot of our kids have struggles in math. Then if you'll look, 60% growth. That's our strength. We can take kids that have been low performing and we can get them to grow. And that's what we're really looking at, is getting those students to grow. If you'll look on the last page, second paragraph says, our proposal is very similar to option C. We're proposing one minor adjustment to the option that will better align the model with the unique education program of our particular alternative school. We're not a school of discipline, we're a school of education. The mission of Central Haywood High School is to enable students to complete high school and receive a diploma. We accomplish this by focusing on individual needs of each student and addressing the varying situations that hinder success in their traditional settings. We deal with the most severe cases of drug, alcohol abuse, parental apathy, neglect, homelessness, poverty, learning disabilities, and psychological issues, to name a few. So what we're wanting to do is present this to the state school board and see if they'll approve option D for us to use their measure. And what we're asking you to do is approve that.
Okay. This time, I'll entertain a motion that we approve option D for Central Haywood High School.
I move that we do it.
Okay, Ms. Milner, second by Mr. Leatherwood. Any question or discussion on the motion?
I'd just like to thank you, Mr. Haney, you and your staff. That's a great job that you're doing down there at this school, and also this proposal looks very promising.
Thank you so much.
Very good. Any questions or comments on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Mr. Hines, I believe you're next on the agenda. Thank you, Mr. Haney.
Mr. Chairman, board members, what you have before you, number 19 is the differentiated pay plan response. This is required by the state legislature through legislation that all school districts in North Carolina present a differentiated pay plan based on performance. Most of the school districts in Region 8 got together with our attorneys and developed basically a regional plan that we're all submitting. With your approval, I will submit this to the legislature directly.
This time I entertain a motion that we approve the differential pay plan response as presented.
I move that we do that.
Okay, we have a motion from Ms. Milne. Do I hear a second?
Second it.
Second, Ms. Shandoval. Any question or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The next one, number 20, is the recruitment and retention plan based on requests from principals and supervisors in a ever-increasing and difficult market for teachers, high-quality educators. They have asked that we come up with a plan to give signing bonuses and supplements to certain hard-to-staff areas and hard-to-staff schools. And this is the plan that we're presenting for that with your approval.
Okay. This time I'll entertain a motion we approve the recruitment and retention plan as presented.
So moved.
Ms. Shandoval's made the motion. I hear a second. Second, Mr. Rogers. Jimmy Rogers. Any question or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Hines.
Chairman. Yes, sir.
Good work. Next on our agenda, we have Miss Allison Francis and Miss Angie Gardner.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members, Dr. Garrett, Dr. Nolte. At the August 11th board meeting, the board approved our bid to allow Ecolab to provide our chemicals. And at that time, you stated that you wanted to review where we were at before you made a decision on whether we could roll or extend that bid another school year, or if I would have to rebid. Based on our expenses through the end of January, I expect a minimum savings of $5,708 with the possibility of saving closer to $11,000 for the 14-15 school year. In addition, we have been 100% satisfied with these products. Service is better, dishes and equipment are cleaner. We have had continuous cutbacks to our labor in the cafeterias, and our child nutrition staff work so hard from the minute they come in the door to the time that they leave. Anything that we can do to make their job a little bit easier is appreciated. If you want me to rebid, time is critical. I will have to put the bid out in March, and if we have to rebid, I will not have the purchasing power of Buncombe and Henderson County. They currently plan to extend the current bid for another year, but if we don't do that with them, we all have to rebid at this time. I've been told by Buncombe that if we have to rebid, they will put out a bid of their own and not as part of a co-op. Bidding with Buncombe and Henderson counties is a benefit to us. We are the smallest of these three counties. Buncombe does not need our volume to get better pricing. We need theirs. They've been doing us a favor. I'm asking tonight for you to approve to extend this bid for the 15-16 school year.
Okay.
Is there any questions I can answer for anybody?
Any questions, Ms. Francis? About
I did want to say, I think on one of Allison's sheets, she talks about the startup cost in August was around $11,000. And I definitely would like to see us roll to see what that, to get a true apples to apples comparison. Right now, what we're trying to compare are fiscal years to a partial fiscal year. And I think it would give us a real good look to look at a true apples to apples comparison next year. And just a reminder, when our auditors met with us or met with the board at the work session in December, he talked about the decrease in the outgoing cash flow, and he was quite impressed with that, and he encouraged the board to continue to look at ways to further improve operating cash flow in our child nutrition program. And I definitely think with the cost savings that Ms. Francis is projecting, that is one of those opportunities to improve our cash flow.
Okay, at this time, I'll entertain a motion that we approve the chemical bid extension, I guess would be the way to do that.
I move that we do that.
I hear a second.
I'll second.
Second, Mr. Leatherwood. We have a motion on the floor to approve the bid.
The extension's 15-16.
15-16 school
Correct.
year.
And at that time, we could
Yeah, and at that
get
time,
there.
this time, next year, you'll have a better idea of how much a whole year will
Correct.
save you.
That is
Not
correct.
just a partial year and just, okay.
That is correct.
Any questions or further discussion on the motion on the floor?
Well, I think not only are we having financial reasons for doing this, but I think we need to listen to our staff, the people that work with these chemicals, and if that's what they're telling us, that's what we need to do.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And you wanted me to recognize my staff for coming tonight. They've worked probably most of them since 6 o'clock this morning. I very much appreciate you staying up late and coming out to this board meeting. It was an extra long one tonight as well, but thank you so much. Your report is greatly appreciated. And gentlemen, I'm sorry.
With that, we'll take about a 2-minute recess so they can.
Thanks for all that good food y'all cooked there.
Just for you.
Thank you.
What?
She's getting on the red one.
Say just for you. Quit giving her all the favoritism. Put her back over here so I can get her. She's giving
No, that's
Rod
making
all
her
the
breath.
favoritism.
It's
now.
making her breath smell good. That's why I'm getting.
Oh, is that
How are you? See you.
Thank you for the work that you do. Thank y'all.
I don't really know you, but anyway.
Oh, okay. Does anybody want mints? I don't want to hoard them over this way.
I just wanted to, Lynn's been getting the red ones out.
You know what?
We'll roll it again. Call the meeting back to order. Next on our agenda, we'll do Mr. Smathers, then we'll do Mr. Leatherwood, Building and Grounds.
Mr. Chairman, board members, tonight I'm asking that you approve a procedure in regard to bond forfeitures on criminal fines and forfeitures. Deputy Steve Mann and Deputy Deaver came to see me about 9 months ago to try and shorten the procedure so that if they find property that's able to be levied upon here in Haywood County, they do not necessarily have to go through me. They can, because the sheriff, it's an expense to the sheriff's department to do an execution, and on personal property about $150, and on real property about $500. So what we're asking is that instead of, because oftentimes they need to move on something before it can require action by getting the funding into their hands. So what we're asking is that for a period of 6 months, allow Deputy Mann and Deputy Deaver to go straight to the finance office and apply for $150 in regard if they can seize a vehicle, and $500 involves the seizure of real property to sale pursuant to the criminal bond forfeiture statute. And we're going to try this for 6 months and see if we can't do increase the coffers of the county school board a little bit, and also make it easier on the sheriff's department, more expedited process. And this, I want to point out, this is at the end of the process of several forfeiture in the court, notice of it, claim that the forfeiture, the right of the bondholder to come in and pay the final cost. So this is at the point of execution on the judgment.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, at this time, I would like to make a motion that we approve the bond execution procedures for a 6-month period. As presented.
Okay. Now hear a second to the
I'll
motion.
second it.
Second, Ms. Shandable. Any questions or discussion on the motion? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr.
Thank you,
Smathers.
board members.
Yeah. Mr. Leatherwood has a couple items, I think, on building and grounds that we needed to take care of this evening. Mr. Leatherwood?
Mr. Chairman, the Building and Ground would like to recommend that we let Tracy Hargrove have the authority to replace the gym floors at Pisgah and Tuscola High School. And money will come from a larger fund. And I'd like for Tracy to come up and tell you how the reason he's having to do this. He can explain a lot better than I can.
Well, thank you for letting me come up. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to explain. Here's where we started. Here's where we are. Okay, we have parquet at both schools. They started out 49 years ago at that thickness. 49 years of refinishing. This is probably worst case. We're down to this thickness now. This come out of the north part of Pisgah's gymnasium under the goal. It's already been replaced a couple of times, and this is what we have left. We also have an area pretty similar to this at Tuscola that is getting pretty thin. The problem with the gyms is the original installation in 1966, there was a little bit of waviness in the concrete that was put down, so there's high spots and low spots. So this is probably worst case. There are probably several other areas in the gym where we have probably a third to a half of this left. So all we know is that we are getting down to a point that it's going to have to be replaced. The reason Mr. Leatherwood suggested going to up to a certain amount of money, we really don't know what we're going to get into as far as the extent of renovation until we tear what's there out. We're hoping that we can go back with just taking off the top layer of parquet and putting parquet back, but it may be that we're not able to do that. We may have to go all the way down to the sleepers, which would be quite more expensive to replace. So
But it would still be within the parameters of the 320.
it would be within the parameters of that number either way. So we're hoping this will work. So that's where we're at.
Okay.
I'd like to make that in the form of a motion that we give them okay to do that.
Okay, and funds will be from the lottery.
Yes.
Okay. I have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Rogers. Any question or discussion on the motion? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
I've got one other thing, Mr. Chairman. The Building and Grounds would like to recommend that we approve Clark and Leatherwood. They're going to donate time and material to build a shed at River Bend Elementary School. It's going to be used by the younger children, and that's key. Actually, on the back side of the school, it's a shed actually for the frustration to get under, probably in the hot part of the day. But this is a no-brainer in my opinion. Anytime you can get something built by a professional, you better jump on it. So I'll make that in the form of a motion that we give them approval to do this.
Okay, we have a motion. I hear a second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Milner. Any question or discussion on the motion? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
All I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Leatherwood. And sound like we've got a lot of great things going on in the school system. All right, next we have Mr. Mark Shepard for his laundry list of policies again this month.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. The first thing we have for you is the first reading of the second half of the 3000 series. And there's been 3 or 4 of them pulled out. You know, they were never on your packet in the first place. But we still need to work on those a little bit more, so it's not everyone in the second half of the 3000 series, but we're whittling away at them. So this is a good list to start on. So those are for first reading.
Okay, as per board policy, the listed policies, I'm not going to read them all, will be tabled for 30 days or till the next board meeting for public input. Okay?
I just wanted to also make note that at the bottom of that list, number 4201 was a policy that was mandated by the North Carolina General Assembly a couple of months back that we put in place to help us save money, I guess, as a state, you know, from their point of view on getting people back to work the proper way and investigating workman's comp type accidents. And I appreciate Jason Hines' help with us on that. We did get a notification that they pushed back. It was initially supposed to be in place by March 31st. They've pushed it back to later in the year. We have it ready. You know, our people have looked at it, and we feel good about it, so we're ready to put it before you.
Okay. All right. For the second reading, we have the listed policies.
Yeah, we have the first part of those 3000 series. A lot of these are dealing with curriculum, you know, what we teach, how we teach it, what order we teach it, those kind of things. If you have any questions on those, I'll be glad to answer them.
Is there any questions on any of the proposed policies? If not,
This time, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that
Good
we
job.
approve these listed 3000 series.
okay. We have a motion on the floor to approve the listed second reading policies, I guess is a good way to describe it. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Milner, I believe. She got you just by millisecond. Any question or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Shepard. That policy committee is earning their keep these days. And I'd like to say thank you to Mr. Rogers. He's been working hard with the committee and our board representative, and thank you, Jimmy, for the hard work on that.
It's fun. Fun times.
It's a good reading. Next on our agenda, we have our chairman of our finance committee, Mr. Jim Francis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, I'd like to tell Mr. Phillips how much I appreciate all the work that he's done in the finance department. And I've really enjoyed, working with him, and I wish him the best in his endeavors. So thank you so much for what you've done, and I've really enjoyed working with you. Our finance committee has met and have reviewed the monthly financial reports. We found no irregularities. So at this time, I'd like to bring before the board a motion to approve the regular financial reports.
Okay, we have a motion from the Finance Committee to approve the finance reports, a second from Mr. Kirkpatrick. Are there any questions or discussion on the motion? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
I have one more item on the, from the Finance Committee. The bus lease contract is up for renewal. This is the same contract we've entered into year after year. And I believe, Mr. Spathers, I don't know if you had a chance to quite look at this one, but it's pretty much the same one. So I would like to bring before the board to approve the bus finance lease contract pending on Mr. Smathers' approval of that contract.
We have a motion to hear a second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Kirkpatrick. Any questions or discussion on the motion on the floor? For new members, I think you need to be aware, this is actually the state funds these buses, and we actually are the contract of the lease agreement, but they make the payments through us by funding it to us. If I'm saying it wrong, please correct me. But it's no additional cost, it's just the way they are buying the buses these days. But we have to approve the contract locally to be able to receive the funds to pay it back. So it's kind of complicated, but the money's there. Any other discussion? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Anything else?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's all the Finance Committee has.
Thank you for the hard work of the Finance Committee. Next, we have Dr. Ann Garrett.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, for your information, you have 10 separation from employments, 5 leave of absences. For your approval, I have 11 employments, 10 employee status changes.
I'll entertain a motion they be approved as presented.
I move they be approved as presented.
Okay, any questions or discussion on the motion? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, for your approval, I have number 10 under employment.
Okay, Ms. Shandeville is asked to recuse herself due to this being a relationship to her family.
Make a motion, we approve number 10, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Mr. Rogers has made the motion. I hear a second. Second, Mr. Bobby Rogers. Any questions or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries unanimously with one person abstaining from voting.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, for your approval, 2 leave of absences, 6 contracted services, 15 substitutes, and 43 employee coaches.
I'll entertain a motion to be approved as presented.
So moved.
Mr. Rogers has made the motion. I hear a second.
I'll second it.
Second, Ms. Shandeville. Any question or discussion on the motion? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, for your approval, number 10 under employee coach.
Okay, we have, I'll entertain a motion we approve number 10 at this time.
So moved.
Mr. Rogers has made the motion. I hear a second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Kirkpatrick. Mr. Leatherwood is asked to recuse himself from this vote due to the fact it has a family relationship. We've already made the motion, second. Okay. Any question or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries unanimously with one person abstaining from voting.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, we have 13 non-employee coaches for approval, 20 volunteer coach services for approval.
We entertain a motion to that effect.
So moved.
Ms. Shandeville's made the motion. Do I hear a second? Second, Mr. Leatherwood. Any question or discussion on the motion? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, it is my pleasure to introduce my administrative assistant, who will also serve as your secretary, Mrs. Brooke King. Brooke has worked in the public schools since 1994. She has served as a teacher assistant for exceptional children at Canton Middle School. She's been a teacher assistant in Macon County, where she was selected as the Teacher Assistant of the Year. Since 2013, she has been the data manager, secretary, and bookkeeper at Haywood Early College. Brooke said her main objective is to provide support, accommodate the needs, and serve our students, teachers, and administrators of the Haywood County Schools. I present to you Mrs. Brooke King.
Mr. Chairman, board members, and Dr. Garrett, I would just like to thank you for this opportunity. It's an honor and a privilege to work in the Haywood County school system, and I look forward to working with you. And if there's anything that I can help you do, please feel free to call me, and I just appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. King. We look forward to working with you, and I think the board's already expressed one request, and I think that you've already been told about the candy basket, I think. No, welcome, and we appreciate you and the positions you're going to be filling. Thank you so very much for your willingness to serve. Thank you. Is there anything else needs to come before the board at this time? Meeting adjourned.